like the Dr. Fell. So Bernie, you're the director, so I'm going to start with you. Can you give me an insight to the play, I suppose, without giving it all away?
The play is written by Bernard Farrell. It became a very famous play in Ireland at the time. First was put on in the Abbey Theatre in 1979, and it's based around the encounter group therapy.
Can you just pull that mic just towards you? Come a wee bit closer, just.
Is that better?
Yes, make sure we can hear you. Sorry, go on ahead.
No problem. So the encounter group therapy sessions was a big craze in the 70s, especially in America, and that sort of translated across the pond to Europe. So he had a friend who attended a group session in Berlin, came back, told him all about the touch therapy and all this stuff. Then he travelled to the US to do a holiday around there himself. And on his first night in America, I think in New York, he almost got mugged and then ended up in a encounter group therapy session by accident. But he fell into, as he said, he's positive there's lots of very good therapists out there. But obviously when something becomes popular, you get opportunists and people who might see it as a side hustle, and they mightn't be the best suited people to run these groups, and that's what happened to him. So he thought it was just made up with a lot of out of work actors and rich middle class people that were, I think, just basically having a moan. So he came home and just thought, I want to write a satire in this, but he based it in Ireland. He did follow it up with trips to, I think, to London, to groups over there, to make sure he had all the structure in that right. But at the time that he wrote it, all that type of kind of out there therapy was kind of a ripe subject for satire anyway. So it was very of its time then, and that's how the play came about. Yeah,
I think whenever you have a group of people in a room to do a comedy play like that, the different types of characters you could introduce into a group therapy setting would make me think that this play is going to be an awful lot of fun.
Yes, because all of the characters in their own right, you could almost have a one-act play about each one of them, because you only ever really touch on the sort of the complexities of their own characters, those nuances. They're all simmering beneath the surface. So we only sort of skim the simmering tensions of it, because it is a comedy, but it's a dark comedy, so... so there's lots of little nuggets thrown out to you, so you build up this picture of them, but you don't get to delve into it. And I think on another level, it shows you how maybe vulnerable people could be exploited. But he is also he's merciless in his satire, but he is compassionate towards the characters as well, because you do like some of the characters. Yeah,
and I think whenever you are thinking about characters as well, that you have to like them. Like it's like people in your life, they might drive you mad, but you have to like them. In terms of the size of the cast, and there's a big enough group. We have Rachel's with us. Rachel, you're playing Susie.
Yes, so I am the therapist of the session this time around. And yeah, as you said, it's a big cast for a play like this, so there's 7 of us in the show. So there's myself kind of leading the group, and then there's the five other group of attendants, and then we have a kind of a group attendant that locks us all in for the night and lets the shenanigans ensue.
What's a group attendant?
Paddy really is like the caretaker of the building, so they end up getting locked in a room on the 3rd floor. Because it's set in the late 70s, their only communication to the outside world is a phone, and the window is blocked up, so they can't, so they bricked up, so they can't see anything. They're completely in a bubble. And then you have Susie, who you very quickly, wonder at the beginning of the play, is she who she's supposed to be? Paddy is like, he's the anchor of the group. He's almost like the voice of the audience, the normal person. He's not one of the weirdos that sort of turn up for these groups, of mayhem ensues.
And the cast that you have, we need to actually first mention Jean Curran is in the play, who are filled in for tonight. So you'll get to see Jean. Jean's been in loads of stuff. She's fabulous on the stage. You have Jack Quinn and Ken Lillis, both other stalwarts that
very experienced.
Very experienced. and people might sort of like know the names, but whenever you see them, you'll be like, oh, that's such and you'll remember from where you've seen them before. Niall McGonigal also, this is his sort of comeback.
Niall, the last time Niall was on stage was Abigail's Party, but Niall's done a fair bit of acting as well. So this is, I think Niall went off to have a couple of children, but now he's back and he's ready to rock and roll again on the stage. Yeah.
And then we have Mickey McMahon and Darian McMenamin, who I know really well as well because I did shows with them before. But they're both award-winning
actors.
Yes, and Rachel as well. Was nominated there in the One Act Festival that we had.
Yes, that's
you
right.
got Adjudicators Award for your performance.
Yeah.
And that was in A Dog's Life, which Bernie, you also directed. And that was your directorial debut.
It was, yes.
And you're now taking on a 2-act play. So it's
the 3-act play, as they call it. Yeah, full length. Yeah, so it's a huge difference in terms of work and undertaken, especially for the cast as well. Like it's a lot more to take on, and the character, you have to get the characterization right, and there's the story, the whole arc of the story. So it's really interesting, and it's been great fun.
Yeah, it really has. Yeah,
can't fault the cast. Very talented, hard-working cast.
Yeah.
And Rachel, how's it been in terms of lines?
Yeah, so as Bernie said, it's a massive difference.
Yeah.
So I did a 1-act that Bernie directed, as you said, in October, and I think we probably roughly had about the same amount of time to prep that. This one's been like a really tight turnaround, I think, just in terms of getting rights, and we had a slot and we basically had to make it work. So we started doing this one at like the start of December, which in itself, you have Christmas there in the middle, which doesn't help. But
we said just write off January. Consider it that you're going to outrun any January blues. This is going to be your life, and you'll just step into spring. It'll be great.
Everybody does say that January drags on. I think I could have done with an extra week in January, and I think the rest of the cast is probably thinking the same. But no, the difference between a 1-act and then a full length, in terms of lines, it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
But
and Rachel's part is a very big part, actually. As
I tend to go on a bit, or Susie tends to go on a bit, so she has a lot to say. Especially, you think of a therapy session that the people taking part are meant to do the majority of the talking, but I don't think Susie subscribes to that idea. I think she likes to hear herself talk, and you will hear her talk a lot if you go to the play.
And she's really bought into the whole sort of new age woo-woo out there stuff as well.
Oh,
yes.
Interesting.
It's good fun. Yeah.
And I'm right in saying that Susie's American.
Yes,
that was another challenge.
Yes,
not a challenge at all. She
I don't know.
That accent.
Yeah. So that's another new thing that I had to take on is the American accent. So never attempted it before. But I remember Bernie said at the start when we were kind of auditioning this, and she was talking about it, and she's like, "You work with a lot of Americans, don't you? This will be no problem to you." And I was like, "It's definitely not the same thing."
But it's rubbed off anyway.
Yeah.
But do you enjoy watching ensemble pieces? Because the 2 plays that you have directed, they've all involved groups. So A Dog's Life was the four dogs, 5?
4 dogs.
4 dogs.
Yes.
And
2 humans.
So good. Yeah. So that was roughly around the same size of a cast then.
Yes. Yeah. So there were 6 in A Dog's Life and 7 now in Dr. Fell, and it's great. And actually, there's. In A Dog's Life, they're in dog cages, so they're stationary. In Dr. Fell, because they're in a circle, in the kind of family circle, talking to each other, they are stationary as well. But there's a lot more movement in Dr. Fell as opposed to A Dog's Life. So it's good. Yeah, it's all been good, I have to say.
That is brilliant. So it's coming up now this week. So you said it's 4 days.
4 days now, yeah. So we're back in tomorrow doing some more rehearsal, and then we'll have our run through for the tech. So we'll have tech and then dress rehearsal and then showtime.
Showtime.
Perfect. Okay then. So that's on from Thursday to Saturday.
Yeah, it's the 5th to the 7th.
And how can people get their tickets?
They can log on to the balorarscentre.com and book them through the website, or they can call directly on 074 9131 840.
Whoa, that's the number. That's perfect. Great. So, thank you so much for coming in. Now, I did ask you beforehand, because today's theme of today's radio show is about celebrity deaths. So I was like, have you had anyone in particular that you found just really shook you?
Yes, I know straight away. George Michael, when he died on Christmas Day, I think that was 2016, was it?
Yeah.
10 years ago. Yeah, I was gutted. I loved him. I always thought I'd meet him one day, you know.
Oh, that's so sad. And Rachel, was there any that you
I suppose recently enough, Angus Cloud's death really struck me. He was one of the Euphoria stars, and I loved the show, and I loved his character arc, and he just really suddenly passed away, and it was really, and he was really young as well, so it really kind of struck me a lot. Yeah.
This is like a little group therapy now.
I know,
isn't it?
a little group therapy session.
We're going to communicate.
Yeah, exactly. So it's in the Balor Arst Centre, Thursday to Friday. And Bernie, you have a song that you wanted to play out with?
Well, it's George Michael, but it's actually Wham, so it's Freedom by Wham, not Freedom by George Michael.
Okay, we're going to take those out. Freedom by Wham. Make sure you get your tickets on the box office phone number or else on thebalorarscentre.com.